Continue our lecture on Microsoft PowerPoint today. So very similar to how Word works, I can insert pictures using the Insert tab and then going to Pictures and then selecting any picture, and then it gets inserted like this. Another way for me to insert pictures is, again, similar to Word. Go to Insert, click on Screenshot, Screen Clipping, and then I can select an area. And this comes up. Can resize and leave it there. When I click on a picture, then this format appears under Picture Tools. I can resize a picture using these corners, and I can pick the picture style using this part of the ribbon. If I hover my mouse over the picture, I see these 4 arrows. That means I can move the picture. And if I want to delete the picture, I can just hit the delete button while the picture is selected. How do I know that the picture is selected? This little box appears around it. So if I was to click over here, then this part is now selected because the box is over here. Similarly, if I was to select this place, then now the box is here. So let's just say I want to delete this text box now that it's selected. So I hit delete and it's deleted. Similarly, I can delete the picture as well. If I hit delete, it's gone. I'm going to hit undo. Next, I can use the Format Painter settings. So let's just say I have text over here. This font. So I have this text, but I want to copy the format of the text to look exactly like this. So I can highlight the text that I want to change, and then I click on this tool, and then I just select the other text. So as you can see, this text above changed to look like the bottom one. If I want to change everything to this, I can select this, Format Painter, and then everything is now the same as this text. After having made the slide, so let's just say this slide is ready, but I want to change the way it looks. So to change it, what I can do is make sure the slide is selected from over here, click on Layout, and see this is highlighted. This means that this is the type of slide that it's using right now. But I can change it to something else. Let's just say something like this. So the slide changes slightly, but that's just because the design is like this. So let's change the design a little bit. Something like this. And now if I go to Layout, these designs are also similar. Let's try another one. So as you can see, as I change the layout, the entire format of the slide changes. Now if I had to change the design of this tab further, I can click on the Design tab, and then I can come over here where it says Slide Size, and I can change it to what I currently have widescreen, but I can change it to standard. And I can maximize the content or ensure fit. It's just to maximize right now. So it's changed. I can also do custom slide size. And I can change the orientation to portrait, but slideshows are not done in this manner. This is just an example, but slideshows are never done like this in any presentation whatsoever. But the option is there if you ever need to do it. Now I can click on transitions, and a few of you were playing around with this yesterday, and I can add, let's just say fade. To this one I'll do push. To this one I'll do wipe. Let me change the size of this, excuse me. So there we go. So if you click on this little star over here, it will show you what the animation actually looks like. So this is a fade in, as you can see. So you can play around with all of these different transitions. There are many. And then you can further affect them by clicking on effect options. So let's just say these random bars for this one, I can make them horizontal instead. So as you can see, it goes through black or just goes smoothly. So use the transitions from over here, the drop down menu, and then further to change it, you can click on effect options and then change it from there. You can also select sound for them. The duration is how long the animation lasts. So if I was to change this to, let's just say 2 seconds, then what happens is when I play it, it changes very slowly over 2 seconds. I can also select a single transition and then click on apply to all. Then every single slide will have the exact same transition. So I no longer have to go to every individual slide and then pick a specific style of transition. There are different ways to advance to the next slide. One is on the mouse click. So during the presentation, if I was to click on the mouse, then the next slide would appear. Or there's another option where let's just say that I know for a fact I will be done talking about a slide in 10 seconds. Then I can just set it to be automatic by clicking over here where it says after, and then set a time here. And if I leave both on, then that means that it's going to move after, let's just say if I was to put 10 seconds here, then it is going to move after 10 seconds. Or I can also mouse click. So this lets me have both options. Next, we can add animations by clicking on the Animations tab, clicking on a picture, and we can click Appear. Let's pick another animation, the one that is a little more flashy. Let's go with flying. So that's what it would look like. There are more options here where I can make it appear with the entrance and then emphasize it somehow and then make it fly out like that. And it tells me that I have 3 different animations in here like this. And I can click on preview and as you can see, it appeared, then it disappeared. The trigger of the animation, this is how you set them up. And these are further animation panes that allows me to change different things. These are effect options, just like we did with transitions, that allow me to change the directions of the animations. So if we go back to where it says animation pane, I can click on the second effect here, and I can change it to something else. So let's just say bounce. Then to play it from the beginning, to look like this, bounce, and disappear like that. So let's do preview, comes up, bounces, and I can move this where it says after trigger. I can just move it here, and now as you can see, preview, so now this one picture does everything. So it comes up, it bounces, and then it fades away, or rather it just moves away. So you guys are going to have to play around with these different animations, and I suggest you try as many of them as possible to get a use of them, and also play around with the animation pane and get a feel for how this animation pane works. Further options, as usual, if you click on one of these over here and then click on this little arrow, then you can change different things: effect options, timings, hide advanced timeline, or you can just remove it. Undo. Similar to how the format painter works, this is an animation painter that, let's just say, got this image here. Now I can select this. So after selecting this, I can click on animation painter and then click on this. And now the exact same animations are applied to that picture as well. Next, we're going to learn how to set up the slideshow itself. So we click on the slideshow tab, and now click on from beginning. And it starts the slideshow from the beginning. If you are brought up with this display, then that just means this is the presentation display. The presenter view, rather. And I can change it to look like the entire slide by clicking on display settings and then clicking on swap presenter view and slideshow view. So this view is mostly used for presenter itself, like myself. So let's just say that if I was to connect my computer to an overhead projector and start up a slideshow, this screen shows up on my computer, but only the slide appears on the big projector. Okay, and this is mostly there so that if I have any notes added that I showed you guys yesterday, the notes area contains information that I can use to present, then they are here. It also shows the next slide. So let's just say that, this is the slide that everyone else will see, but I get to see the next slide, so I can kind of introduce it before going into it. But again, if I just want to have the regular view the same as everyone else, then I can click on display settings and then click on that. And now this view is the same for me as it is for everyone else as well. and the slideshow is done. For more options on setting up a slideshow, I click on Set up Slideshow, and now it brings me options. So under slideshow type, it says presented by a speaker, so it's full window, browsed by an individual, so it's window, or browse at a kiosk, full screen. And then show options, it can continuously loop until someone presses escape. And then they can be a show without narration, show without animation, just in case. So let's just say I have animations in here but I don't want to play them. I can just click on this and it will play without it. And then this, I wouldn't touch this. This is for a little more technical crowd. Just leave this be. I can also click on show slides and then all. This is the default. Or I can play from specific slides, where I can, let's just say, from number 2, I get to skip slides 1. Or I can advance slides manually or using timing if present. So let's just go with manually. And this, you only get to play with these if you have multiple monitors. So I can click on slideshow, and then click on record slideshow, and then I can pick one of these, record from the beginning or record from the current slide. So if I click this, make sure to pick both of these, then the slideshow starts and everything that I do is being recorded as well as up here. Just so, let's just say you're presenting something in front of an audience, but you want to save your presentation as it appeared on the screen. Now keep in mind that everything gets saved, so where your mouse moves, your voice, everything gets saved. I'm gonna pause, I can pause recording. Or I can click next. Or I can click repeat. For now, I'm going to hit escape. So now this ends the slideshow recording. You can also use the rehearse timings by clicking this, and as you can read in the description, we can use this to start the full screen slideshow and figure out the perfect timings for each slide. So what this means is, as you speak on each slide, it will show you how long you spent on that slide talking about it. And after you're done recording, this little symbol appears to the bottom right. And this just tells you that there is a recording for this slide. You can play it. There we go. But obviously this only works if you have a mic. So I am not sure if your computers have a mic. So one of the views that we can look at the entire PowerPoint under is, right now we're in the normal view. There's also the slide sorter, which shows all of our slides listed like this. Slide sorter is there just to, well, first to sort the slides, but also as a really good and quick preview of each slide. Because let's just say if I had 50 slides and I wanted to see what each slide had really quick, I can use this view. Otherwise, I'd have to keep scrolling with this little tiny bar over here to the left, and then keep scrolling up and down to see where one of the specific slides was from 50 slides. So this view is really useful for that as well. Slide sorter down here. The reading view again is just something like this. Lastly, as I went over it yesterday, I can click on a specific slide and then click on hide slide, and it no longer shows in the PowerPoint. On page 60 of your book, it actually tells you some top PowerPoint tips, and those tips are just there to enable you to have a really good presentation when you're presenting something. So make sure you do go over them. So let's just go back for now and start the presentation from the beginning. So as I click that or press F5, I'm brought to this menu. And let's just say I go to the regular view, and now I have all these tools at the bottom. Okay, so these two tools are going front and back of the presentation. This tool here enables me to have a laser pointer, which basically makes my mouse into a laser. This is very handy for presenting things when you are looking to point at specific things on the screen. We also have the pen tool, so I can write something. I can have the eraser. I can erase all ink on the slide, or I can highlight something. I also have this view for the slide itself. So within the presentation, let's just say I'm trying to find a specific page. So I can just quickly come down here, click this, and I can click a specific page. And this is all done from the presenter view. We can also search. For the zoom in function, it's right here. And these are more options. So play around with these more options to see what all of these do. So this is a screen. I can have a black screen just to hide something temporarily. Press escape to get rid of it. Similarly, I can have a white screen or hide ink markup. Ink markup is all the things that we have marked on the screen. And then I can show taskbar, but I don't want to do that. The arrow options, I can make it visible, let's just say. Can discard. Now we're going to use a tool that we also used in Word. So blank slide, go to, let's just say, design. I'll just leave it, actually I'll change the background color to something else, gradient fill, and go to insert, and I can add shapes in here. So I can add this shape, which is a free drawing tool for me. I can write or draw anything that I wish. Or again, I can click on one of these and then change the shape style once it appears. More styles here. These are also word art styles. If I had word art, it would show here. And remember, anytime you want to delete anything, you have to make sure, so you click on it, wait for these boxes to appear, this little box, and then you just hit delete. Once again, I click on this, hit delete. This box appears once more, I hit delete. Just remember that, just like we did for Word, if I click on shapes, add a shape here, which is this, then under shape fill, I can actually change the color. Or I can do more colors, or use an eyedropper, gradient, or a texture. Okay, and now I can have some sort of text written in here. And of that text, I can change a little bit more of these word art styles, let's just say. I can also insert Smart Art, just like we did for Word. Use any one of these. Move the box. Now within Smart Art, a couple of you guys were having issues yesterday trying to maneuver them, but remember that there are two boxes in here, okay? So one is this box that you see around the entire, not that box, let me just get it out of the way. Okay, so if I was to click here, now you see this white box that appears around the entire Smart Art? This controls this entire one, okay? But if I was to click on a specific object in here, then I get another one. And when I get another one, now I can move this individual somewhere else, like this. But if I was to just click here and move the entire box, then this is what it would look like. So again, this is option 1. And option 2 is I can click on one of these shapes and then move it like this. But I'm going to go back to the picture at the back when I hit delete. I'm going to click here. Now I can click on format and I can change the style of it here, shape fill, and then shape outline. I can change it to something else. Let's just go with white or yellow for visibility. I can have shape effects. So let's just say I want to go with this one, and it looks like that. I can also insert text boxes by going to Insert, Text Box, and I can draw my text box. Actually, the text box I can show from different places, because even under Home, this right here is a text box. It's in the drawing subsection. So I can click on this and then draw another one. So under Home, we actually have quite a few things that appear elsewhere as well. So shape fill, quick styles of shapes, like these things, they appear in other places as well, especially in design and insert. But the drawing tool is there just for really quick drawings or changing the shapes to something else. So this is very handy if you need it. So once the text box appears, I can just add the text here, and then of course I can move it around anywhere that I wish, or I can highlight it, select it, and then use all of these different options in it. I can also change its size. So if I change the size, then the text box will adjust automatically if it's not large enough, as you just saw. Of course, as usual, when I have this object over here selected, then I get drawing tools and then format, and then I can format the way this looks. I can change it into word art style. So let's go with let's go with this one. Okay, and I can have more effects. I can have reflection. I can change the color again. Now if I want to change the color of the entire thing, then I'm going to make sure that I select the entire text box. Otherwise, only so if I have my cursor here and I try changing something, then as you can see, it only reflects this part of it. So I want to make sure that everything gets selected in this. So if we go back to Smart Art, and let's select this one. Then also remember that I can type text in here and here and also here. I can move it around once again, and I can change these options. These are the advanced options of how the smart art would look like. So a lot of these things that we see in the book for the smart art, we have done them extensively for Word, so I'm not going to go over them again. But when you're going through them in the book, you really should go through them again. Just follow the guide. And we have finished today up until module 16. So the thing with PowerPoint is the more you play around with all of the tools at your disposal, the better you become at managing your PowerPoint, the way it looks, and then the way you present also. But remember, the whole point of PowerPoint is to be able to present the information. So it's really important for you guys to not only make a really good looking PowerPoint presentation, but also know the presentation that you have created. So after you have created it, you should also practice presenting the material that you have in there. Not necessarily for this class itself, but in general, when you guys are working with PowerPoint, if someone tells you to make a PowerPoint on something, then just in case, you should always be ready to present whatever you have made.